Hey guys, I'm Amaya.
Hi, and I'm Chantel, and this is
Suddenly
Suddenly Saved.
We just want to thank you guys for tuning into another episode. If you haven't already, go ahead and click the subscribe button.
Yes. Thank you all for just all your support. And we switched seats today because we have a little special episode.
We do have a special episode, and I'm so excited. We're going to be speaking on Chantel's journey with leaving Greek life. So she's been putting it off for some time now.
I've been putting it off since as long as I could put it off.
That's okay, because one thing about divine timing, it's time now, like I think that takes a level of boldness and confidence and just not even being afraid of allowing God to speak through you. So, because I feel like there's so many people who just don't know.
Or know and just not be at that space yet of having the confidence.
Exactly.
Not even the confidence, but the boldness.
Yeah, so, because I know I didn't know a lot, but we're going to go ahead and jump into it.
Okay. I got my notes here just in case, but I'm going to go off the dome.
Yeah. So go ahead and tell me a little bit about your experience with college and first diving into the life of Greek world.
Okay. So I'm going to even back up before college and go into like how I was even first introduced.
Yeah. Yeah, pretty much.
I had knew nothing about this world. I just knew I'm an only child. I've been seeking community ever since I can remember. And I think I was first introduced in high school with my guidance counselor.
Okay.
She had told me about this program for high school students called the Delta Gyms. And I started doing it and I liked it. I liked the women. I liked that we were talking about just loving ourselves and the confidence behind it.
Yeah.
It just felt like a really great sisterhood. So to fast forward, I had other teachers and just women that I looked up to that were members. So I was like, okay, this is good. This is something I could see myself. I applied. I got scholarships. Like everything is just
falling in line.
It's falling in place. Yeah. So then I get to campus, and I like my freshman year, there were people who I knew that they were starting to cross. And just knowing it, like, I was like, okay, and these are the people who are running campus. They have these leadership positions. They're doing well. They're successful. So, of course, I'm like, I'm interested.
Yeah.
I want to know more. And just how I can be a part. And I knew for me, for instance, like, there wasn't always a great reputation behind it, or maybe they were not nice or kind, or, just a certain perception. And I can say that I originally went in, like, I want to be a kind one. I want people to see, like, well, Chantel, she is kind.
Yeah, she's a part of this organization, and she's not a quote-unquote mean girl or snooty.
That was my intention. And I was like, and I finally have sisters.
Yeah.
And brothers.
Yeah, and I can see, like, especially coming from being an only child, how that sense of community seemed like something you really wanted to have. And I mean, that's what I wasn't a part of Greek life, but I knew based on the outside looking in, like, sisterhood and brotherhood was like the big correlation with being a part of the organization, and just why people really wanted to join because of that sisterhood and brotherhood.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You're right. I mean, that's really, I think, what captivates most people's attention. Is either if you are not legacy, like your parents were members, then for a first generation college student like myself, it's the people that you're around. And it looks really like these are also the people they run campus.
It looks fascinating. I mean,
mesmerizing.
It was very mesmerizing. I don't think I was fully introduced to Greek life until, I want to say it was like sophomore year. The Omegas came to campus. So, like, seeing their probate, like, I remember after the probate was over, I was like, how do I sign up for this? Because it looked exhilarating. Like, it looked like something I very much wanted to be a part of. But little did I know that, God was really, keeping me from, being a part of an organization, because, like, we didn't really have a lot on our campus. So.
Right. Yeah. And I'm trying to think back to my first probate. I think it was a Sigma probate. And my roommate was telling me about it. It was at nighttime. It was cold.
Yeah.
It was very, like, I hadn't seen anything like this before.
Yeah.
Maybe being in college, you're just naive in general.
Yeah, because I didn't come, like, I'm a first generation college student, so we didn't have anybody in my family that ever was a part of a sorority or fraternity. So to me, like, my only knowledge of sororities and fraternities, what I seen is Stump the Yard, so like.
I don't even know if I've seen that. I've seen it on Sister Sister.
Okay.
I've seen it on like the Parkers.
Okay.
Like just shows I watched growing up. So it's like, okay, well it's on TV.
It's popular. Yeah. Okay. So walk me through like whatever you feel comfortable with about like your initial process.
As far as just the beginning, I mean, it was definitely, everything happened so fast, and I'm still in a process of God revealing to me more and more about that time, because it was long, but it was also very short and quick and rapid.
Okay.
And I think that, or not, I know that is intentional from the enemy.
Yeah.
And I'm not even, let me make sure I look in my camera when I say this, I'm still struggling with the residue of where I'm even at with it. If I'm being honest.
Yeah.
I have pushed this day off as long as I possibly could. Because it is still, there's trauma, there's triggers, there's what is everybody gonna think?
Yeah.
How much do you share? How much do you not share? I'm still tussling, but if God says so, then it's time. And I want to get more into the details of the background at a later time, but I really want to also focus on how God even showed me.
Yeah.
How, like, what was going on.
Yeah.
The testimony behind it.
Yeah, because I think it's important for people to kind of know how you were introduced, somewhat of the process. Like, of course, like, you don't have to go into all the details about, like, what you experienced to even cross. But just how did you even know, like, once you made the decision to join Delta, you're in it now, like, what happened to make you think, like, I don't even, like, I'm starting to feel like I don't need to be here. Like, I don't belong here.
Yeah. Okay. That makes sense. So initially, I was all in, going to picnics and campuses and doing things. And I think just as I like got out of college, because I was pretty involved, especially while I was on campus. When I got out of college, I just started to distance. God, I guess, started to distance me. So whenever I was hanging out with the group, I didn't really feel like I was part of the group. I started feeling more set apart. And even to the point of I didn't want to wear the clothing anymore. I didn't want people to know that I was affiliated. I was parking my car different types of ways so that people didn't see my tag.
Yeah.
And I couldn't understand it or pinpoint, like, God, why is something that I was so proud and so bold about, why do I feel ashamed?
Yeah. Did you just wake up one morning and just feel that way?
It gradually, like, just throughout the years, gradually, I stopped. I remember I used to have it on my keychain, like my lanyard, and I just took it off one day and put it in my glove box. And little by little, I just started removing things. I didn't know that was God, like, slowly easing me in. Because it is hard to go from, like, being all in to revealing it. So he did start stripping me throughout the years slowly without me even realizing.
So when did you realize that you wanted to... I don't want to ask a question, I feel like I'm jumping ahead. But, like, what happened to make you really feel like, okay, I need to cut ties? Like, when did that revelation occur? Yeah.
And I wrote down some notes because it was a lot that took place.
Write them notes, honey, because this is your testimony.
Yeah, and so much happened, and it happened so quickly.
Yeah.
Like how I said, quickly I was in it, quickly I was out.
Suddenly things changed.
Suddenly.
Yeah.
Before then, I wasn't as plugged in, and I would go to functions and things and just still feel like an outsider. So I just didn't, I was confused, but I didn't have any intentions of leaving. Yeah. If that makes sense. I didn't feel like I was in the right spot. Yeah. But I also was just going to stay and kind of ride it out as well. I didn't see a problem or urgency around it.
It was giving imposter syndrome a little bit.
A little bit. Yeah. Or like, maybe that was just something, maybe it was something I did in college and not a lifelong
commitment.
A lifetime commitment.
Okay.
So what happened to change? And actually, I'm going to, if you would lift that, I'm going to grab. Last year, I had no intentions of doing anything. My word for last year was obedience. And throughout the year, God was really working on me about like being more proactive in seeking him and listening to his voice. And we'll get more into it when we talk about forgiveness, but I dealt with a lot of my, like where I was with a relationship with my father, my earthly father. And last year in June, I was just really at odds of, I don't know what I want next in this relationship. And so I cut ties. I didn't talk to my father for 3 months, but during that time, God, he spoke and said, like, I need you to consecrate yourself. And I wanted to fast, but I knew it had to be something that was actually going to be sacrificial. And what do I love to do? I call people on the phone.
Love to talk on the phone.
Constantly, I'm talking on the phone. And God said, okay, for 21 days, no phone calls. Okay. Let people know you're good, but no phone calls, because how can you hear me when you always running your mouth?
Yeah. Yeah, you never can hear anybody when your mouth is constantly going. Yeah.
So I talked to my mom, my friends, and grandma and told them, like, hey, I'm okay, but you're not going to hear from me for 3 weeks. Okay. I may check in for like 2-minute phone calls and I'm okay, but like I have to spend time with God. Okay. During that time, I wrote it down. This was July 22nd, 2024. I said, during this fast from August 4th to August 24th, no phone calls longer than 2 minutes, exceeding work, business, things like that, Bible study. And that during this fast, I wanted next steps with my father, my earthly father, how I needed to proceed. I wanted strength to endure a single season. And I wanted to pray for my family, the church, and the world. And lastly, but definitely not least, I asked God for guidance on how he desired to use me. That was when I threw in there. Didn't think anything of it.
Didn't think God was going to say, let's present this one thing to the front.
Yes. So let me get in. I'm going to go ahead and just dive in.
Yeah, dive in.
I'll take pauses in case you have questions. Okay. But started to drift away. Naturally stopped wanting to just be a part. And I didn't realize God was calling me out. Before the fast even started, 2 things happened. One, I reached out to a former sorority sister who was deepening her relationship with Christ. And I asked her what her thoughts were on people who denounce. I had no thoughts of denouncing, but I just wanted to know where she was. Yeah. Me and her left the conversation by saying, if I did do it, I would do it quietly. And I wouldn't really make a big deal out of it. And I feel like God is calling me to do something else right now. Not that. Yeah. Went on, okay, we hung up, conversation, felt the same way about it. But we both said, but if he ever asked me to leave, I'd do it. If he ever said so. Second thing that happened before the fast even began is I was part of a small group at church for decluttering. And someone came over to my house and we picked to work on my storage closet to get it organized. I had all of my Delta belongings in a box. And when we got to that box, I think she could just sense that something was a little settling. Like I wasn't settled about why I was apart or why I was even at the bottom of this closet tucked away. And she sent me a sermon from Jerry Flowers called Stomp the Yard. She's not affiliated at all. She said, but she had heard about the sermon and maybe it would be helpful. Yeah. She sent it to me. I did not go watch it. Okay. That was a month before the fast started. Now, getting into August 4th. I did not give up social media during the fast because I did need to know what was going on in the world since I'm not talking to anybody. First day, August 4th, I'm scrolling on Instagram. I see a post of a young lady who is a Delta and she has on a t-shirt that says, y'all denounce, but you're still going to hell. I run to... First off, I'm baffled. What is the connection between the two? Yeah. I don't see how they're even connected. And I'm thinking in the comments, people are going to be telling her, don't, you're like, why do you have this shirt on?
that's it's an outrageous shirt to even wear.
People in the comments gassing her up.
Mm.
Girl, I wish I would have thought of it sooner before you. Where can I get one? I'm confused.
Yeah. So you need some clarity.
I chalk it up. That's her. That's not me. I move on with my day. So next day comes, and remember, I started this fast for forgiveness.
Yeah.
Trying to figure out how to forgive my dad. I'm watching a 90-minute podcast on forgiveness. That's the root of what I'm trying to get out of this fast.
Yeah.
The end of the 90-minute podcast, the last 90 seconds, the woman speaking, she stopped. She said, before we close out, if anybody is watching this podcast and you are in a fraternity or sorority, you need to denounce.
Girl, the way my skin would have just quivered, because that's pretty intense. Like, God has given you so many clear signs about denouncing, like the seeds that just have been planted and dropped. And for that to be the ending of a podcast that has it had to do with something completely different than what that even small piece at the end, like, I mean, it was crystal clear.
You would think.
It was crystal clear. I mean,
you would think. I walked away from that podcast basically saying, okay, God, I think you're trying to get my attention about something else.
I mean, hello.
About forgiveness. And you keep directing me to my sorority.
But that's how God works. He is so funny because, like, you could think, like, you are struggling with one thing and really trying to work on something that you've identified. But God is like, no, you're completely, like, yeah, like, this is important, but there's something else that I need to shine the light on. Like, the way he redirects us, that's why he truly knows best.
Right. Yeah. You are right about that.
So what's next? What else happens?
So next I go home. I'm like, okay, God. And I'm looking down to make sure I don't forget anything because a lot happened during the time. I could tell that I was avoiding that nudge. I was trying my hardest, like, please, Lord, I don't want to uncover anything. I don't want to know. But he needed me to know.
Yeah. So
the third day of this fast, I started to pray and I asked God to show me why. Like, if it's a problem with me being affiliated apart, why? And in that time, he gave me, like, I had a dream one night when I went to sleep, or during the day, I took a nap. Let me be completely truthful.
Yeah, you were asleep.
I was asleep. I had a dream, and it was a beautiful painting, kind of like a mosaic, and it had patterns all over it, but it had a spider. Like, and you would only know that something harmful and venomous like a spider was there if you saw it, because when it was in place with the other patterns, it blended in. Once I woke up, the word that he gave me was deception. And I'm thinking, okay, so you're saying something that looks beautiful on the outside is deceiving if you really dig in and know how dangerous it was. He also asked me a question and said, what does it mean to cross over? Because that's a term do you feel like people say that?
People cross over to go to, the other side, which is death.
Well, but I'm saying that term, that's something everybody knows. Like, it's crossing over. Like, oh, such and such crossed over.
Yeah.
What does that mean? And I had never thought about that.
The only time I've ever thought about crossing over is crossing over to death. Like...
Oh, like a transition.
Like a transition. Like, not even... correlating that with, sororities and fraternities.
Yes. And just to make sure I'm not skipping any parts, but I did go back and watch the Jerry Flowers sermon that she had sent me a month prior. So I
feel
convicted.
Okay.
Convicted. Because Jerry, he didn't say anything specific to any person. He didn't give any opinion. Yeah. And he said that at the beginning. He said, the message I'm about to talk about is very controversial, but I got to do it.
Yeah.
And the same way I feel on this very day in this moment of, like, this is very uncomfortable for me to talk about.
And that's okay.
But if he said so, I must be obedient to my Father.
Yeah.
I watched it. He gave scriptures and he said, go look for yourself. Like, go pull out the Bible, go read it, and read your ritual, your book, whatever book is associated with whatever organization you are in, compare them. And also pray about it and ask God to reveal to you what it was. Because when I first looked and opened up the ritual, I was like, I see prayers, I see scripture. I'm confused. Like, God, do I have to sit here and read this whole book for you to show me? And I pretty much asked him, like, show me the part that's going to make me be convicted. Show me.
So, is that what did he show you?
I started reading the ritual. Another little tidbit to add on is I'm reading the Bible during this time. So I had started reading the Bible January 7th of 2024. So I'm in August now. So I'm a little over halfway through the Bible.
Okay.
I had not ever done that before. So I actually am filled up with more word than I ever have been. So I can see the similarities. I can see how, it's based on Christian principles. Yeah, it's a mockery.
It's deceiving.
So I started reading the ritual for myself. I got to the point, and God showed me, he said, well, with crossover, I went to the section in the table of contents about the initiation ceremony, the crossover ceremony. I wanted to know more about that point in time, not all this other part.
Yeah.
And I read the vows that I had made when I was 21 years old, vows in which I would never be freed from, and that would follow me to my final judgment. And all of this was sealed with an I do, just like wedding vows.
Keep going.
And at that moment, I realized that we talk about Eve in the garden and being deceived by the serpent. I realized I had been deceived. Yeah. I had bitten from the fruit unknowingly.
Yeah.
And become part of it.
Yeah.
And that's another episode of just like how it opened up so many other doors for me to live a double life.
Yeah.
Because one thing I will say about the process, you can't tell anybody about it.
It is very secret.
It's very secretive. You have to lie to people that you love and about what you're doing, where you're going. You're getting trained to live a double life.
Yeah.
And God really, he was talking to me just about marriage and covenant. I didn't know what a covenant was at the time. And even knowing, okay, if somebody is at an altar, a groom and a bride, and they're saying their wedding vows, if in their heart they love somebody else, are they not still married?
Yeah.
Because life is in the tongue. Yeah. Power of life and death is in the tongue. Your words have power.
They do.
So even if you are in the ceremony and you're saying whatever it is they're telling you to say, and you're saying Jesus, 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 you're not choosing him.
Yeah.
You're at the altar with a whole nother groom.
Yeah.
And God honors covenant.
He does.
It's spiritual.
Yeah.
If you are married to someone and your heart is not there, it's with someone else, you are still bound to that person that you stood at the altar with.
Yeah. That's good.
Any questions?
No, honestly, I don't feel led to ask a question right now. I just feel like you need to continue to keep speaking on, what God was revealing to you through this time because
Thank you. Okay. So yeah, I immediately just thought back of like Adam and Eve in the garden. I thought about how Jesus was tempted in the wilderness by the enemy, and the enemy saying like, I'll give you all of this if you bow down and worship me. And I think about how whenever you do cross over, you do get popularity.
Yeah.
You do get connections. You do get things of this world that this world can offer you.
Yeah.
But what did you give in return?
Yeah.
And I didn't have that revelation. It took 8 years for me to have that kind of thought process of what did I give up to get.
Your mind had to mature. I mean, you were young, and I think that's why it's important for, when students first go to college, like your mind is so easy to be molded and you're not fully mature yet. So you think that what you're doing is completely harmless. Like, oh, everybody does this, but they get you in a state where you're really vulnerable because you're out here technically alone, like This is a new experience. So why not trick people into deception? You know, it's a perfect opportunity. Like, these are children away from what they're familiar with, you know, like, this is a new world. So the enemy is very crafty.
He is an
very
ancient
crafty
creature.
Yeah.
And you cannot, I did not realize this until, and the way I'm so specific with these dates is because I know the moments, everything. Until August of 2023, I believed in God. I didn't really believe in the devil.
Yeah.
I didn't really believe in the enemy. I felt, well, I'm a good person, so I'm good. But you have an enemy who is out here. His only desire, he hates you.
Yeah.
If God and the enemy are the complete opposite. If God loves your soul, the enemy hates you.
Yeah.
He wants to take as many souls to hell as possible.
Yeah, because you just can't believe in God and not believe in the enemy. Like, it's not even practical, you know?
It's not.
Yeah.
But until my spiritual eyes were open, I did.
Exactly.
I didn't realize the world that we lived in. I just took everything as face value.
Yeah. And
God had to really work on me and chisel away and lift that veil for me to see.
Yeah.
Let's see. I have some don't forgets. If y'all, these notes.
They noting, honey.
They noting, and it's a couple pages.
That's okay. So yeah,
I have some don't forgets.
Okay.
So let me just say those.
Yes.
I worked with, like, during the time I wasn't talking to anyone on the phone, but I did know of 2 people that had denounced.
Mm-hmm.
And one of them was a friend of mine. She had told me maybe 6 years before. She talked about it, and she said, like, she just felt convicted about saying that it was her first love. And I said, well, I don't think about it like that. I think of it as, you know, just out of all of the other organizations, I do love this one the most. She said, okay. And she left it at that.
Yeah.
But that planted a seed in my heart for 6 years later for me to come and go to her and say, like, hey, I have some questions.
Yeah.
And have someone to talk to.
Yeah.
There was also another person that we were in the same chapter, and she was very vocal about her relationship with Christ and denouncing. And so I went and I talked to her about it, and it was nothing but God, because I would probably still to this day be apart had he not placed someone who immediately got to work on, like, she knew the ins and outs, she knew how to formally do it. She sent over prayers that I could pray over myself and for others. I didn't even know anything about this, but he served it up.
Okay.
Because I don't know where to even start. Most people don't know where to start to get out. I also said to not forget that I asked for a holy conviction, and I asked for the strength of the Holy Spirit, because I could not leave in my own strength.
Yeah.
My spirit was in covenant, and because of that, it has a stronghold.
Yeah.
Like, even for me to talk now, I'm thinking about just what are the repercussions, but no, like, I'm proud.
Yeah.
I'm proud of my decision. I'm bold in it. I did nothing wrong.
You did.
And me and God, like, I was praying to God. When I got into it, it was a decision between me and God to get out.
Exactly. And the repercussion was joining. You know, now that you're out, you have freedom, you have wisdom. So it would be a repercussion to not go out and speak about it, you know? So I am proud of you for even, because I know this is hard conversation. And I'm sure it's going to ruffle some feathers, but if it does, that just means that, no, God is trying to reveal some things to you as well, you know? And if you're upset, that's just something that God is going to have to, you know, work on with you at the end of the day. So
yeah, and it's all from a place of love.
Yeah, you know, like, because nothing you're saying is hateful. It's just your experience, your truth.
Yeah, and I have to confess, like, I was part of it. I was part of the snickering, the talking about people, oh, she's doing too much. Oh, she wrote a book about it. Oh, and these are the same people that now that God has opened my eyes, I'm running to go buy the book.
Absolutely.
I'm running to the people, because when you're on the inside of it, I don't know what happens to your mind, but your mind is just guarded and tainted and
deceived.
That's the only way. Yeah. That's the best way to put it is, and it only comes from God to be able to open your eyes to what you are a part of.
Yeah.
And so from there, I'm going to speed up a little bit just to go ahead and get through the story.
Okay.
Well, the testimony.
Yes.
But I had a nudge. I wanted to remove all of the items. And I tried, to do that, because there was different parts and layers that I felt led to do during this time. I felt like I needed to pray and repent and renounce and turn away, but also I had all these belongings, and I had been feeling for a while now that I needed to clean out and get rid of things in my house. So I do that easily with ex-boyfriends, but for some reason I kept all these things.
You were in a covenant.
I was in a covenant.
Yeah.
And also, do the formal process. For that's not for everybody. Everybody doesn't do the formal paperwork, but for me, he put it on my heart to do it all and be completely divorced.
Yeah, you needed to be done. Yeah, you need your divorce papers.
So I needed to get rid of all the stuff. Let's kind of get into that point. And I called several different people. I had a friend, he was also going through the same thing. We were supposed to just burn it on his grill. He calls me like, I don't know about these different materials. I ain't trying to start a fire. I said, okay, I'll figure something else out. He did tell me he was going to bleach his things. I was like, I don't know if I want to do that either. Probably should have, but... Second, I had friends that we were supposed to come, like, have a cutting party. Something happened. She couldn't make it. I called one of my, like, a handyman. He lives out in the country. I'm like, hey, I have some stuff for you to burn. Can you do it? He's like, no, like, I can't do it. He's taken off tables for me and gotten rid of it. But for a bag of clothes, he can't do it. Okay.
Yeah.
I called Goodwill and asked them, like, how do y'all destroy clothes? I called the, what are the crematory and asked them. And I was like, Chantel, calm down, because people about to start asking questions. Why are you trying to burn
stuff? Yeah, you about to make an investigation.
So I went to Home Depot. I'm like, I'm just gonna get hedge clippers, cut it all up. Girl, tried to cut the stuff. It was probably partially my impatience. The other part was it just wasn't cutting. So I prayed about it. I put my stuff in 2 bags and I said, Lord, like, I really feel like this push, you want me to get this out of my house and fully move on and start my healing process. But I'm having trouble destroying it.
Yeah.
I prayed over the bags. I said, Lord, like, I pray, I trust that you will take care of it and destroy it in your way. Okay. I've tried in my own means. Okay. Mind you, what I didn't know was that 1 month later, so I had done my paperwork. I hadn't gotten my official paperwork back from the organization yet. And I had gotten rid of the clothes.
So you threw them in the trash?
I threw them in the trash.
Okay.
I threw them in the trash. Do not advise that.
Okay.
Because 1 month later, so in my heart, I'm like, okay, I got a work trip and I got a vacation with my mom. I'm going to tell my former line sisters once I'm done traveling. That was my plan.
Yeah.
And God showed me, like, no, when I said something, I said it. Yeah. And yes, you were prompt with your obedience, but you were partially obedient because you did not fully, you're still in the group chats. It's been a month.
You hiding.
You hiding. You still care about what people think. So you're professing my name, but your heart is still chasing the validation of others.
Yeah, because you were loud and bold about your decision to cross, but...
No. I couldn't wait to post my picture on Instagram.
Yeah, couldn't wait to post that you were part of DST, so...
Couldn't wait to post my picture.
Yeah.
So... And I do want to go ahead and preface this. This is not any shots at Delta specifically.
Yeah.
This is across the board.
Yeah, period.
For any organization that if anyone feels a conviction, whether that is fraternity, sorority, Panhellenic, non-Panhellenic, if it's a band, anything that you feel convicted about, go into the ritual, and ask the Lord, like, if this is something that is not of you, show me. Yeah. Show me, and please give me the strength to let it go. I don't want this to be where it's specifically targeting one. Well, it shouldn't have been this one versus that one.
Yeah.
No, it's all the same across. The enemy has created different appearances that all lead to the same road.
Period.
So, once again, this is no specific shade or diss towards Delta. It's Delta, aka any of them.
All of them.
I want to make that clear. Because I know we keep going back to Delta, and I know that's my one experience. Yeah. That's my pathway, but I don't want to just single out. Period. I made that very clear.
Honey, it's Crystal.
I just want to make it crystal clear. This is not any specific.
Yeah, no.
Because I've had that rebuttal before. Well, it's that one. No. It's... I could sit here and bring someone from each of the Divine Nine up and talk about it from their perspective. And there's research. Like, people have whole ministries based on it.
Yeah. So, yeah.
Getting back into it. Should have destroyed it. Didn't. And I had to go back just to make sure I got this right. I'm at my work meeting on site with my manager. I go into the restroom just to check my phone, because I had been in person. I get pictures that my former line sisters, moms, friends, husbands, fraternity brother was driving down the street and saw a homeless man in my line jacket. How many degrees of separation is that?
Honey, you don't even have to count them all because you said a whole bunch of, that was a lot of people just for it to end up coming back to you. That's scary.
Once again, looking in the camera, I was mortified. It's not too many times in my life that I can use that word. Yeah. I was mortified because I've never thrown something away. And not that I was even I was just trying to get it out of my possession. I was trying to be obedient to God, but also not knowing how to destroy it in my own means. And maybe, he knows farther. Maybe he knew I was going to be 1 foot in, 1 foot out. So he held that because he wanted to show me he is God. He can do anything in the universe he wants to do. But he chose to do that to show me, Chantel, and I wrote down what he showed me.
TikTok.
1, you were trying to be quiet about it. You were trying to do it secretly, but no, you do not quietly choose Jesus. Second, he said you did partial obedience. You did it promptly, like I said, but you did not follow all the way through. You did not completely cut ties. Third, you still care about validation from others because as soon as this came out, I immediately left all forms of social media. I did not even want to have an internet presence because of my fear of what other people were going to think. And lastly, he was confirming that he said what he said.
Yeah. That's good.
I felt so much shame, so much embarrassment, and I was upset with God because I felt like he broke my trust in him to get rid of it. But he's grown me to know, like, no, I had to reveal some things about you and your heart that you needed to see. And if anyone doesn't like you anymore, doesn't want to be around you anymore, or you don't get invited anymore, they didn't really care for you the way you thought anyway.
Yeah.
Like, this is also just showing me who I genuinely show up for and vice versa. As well. I cried and I mourned for weeks after, especially knowing what happened. I felt so dumb for why you knew to destroy it. Why did you do that? Now it's out of your hands. And he really had to work on me to say, like, no, the enemy is trying to tell me these things and they are not true.
They're not,
He is trying to tell me lies. And one of the last things to close out, because this is a continuation. We'll have a second part as well to just, I confess my wrongs for how I have talked about others who have left, how I have laughed and snickered and maybe even thought less of, well, they were doing too much. And I apologize for anyone that I misled. Who saw me and said, okay, well, Chantel's a part of it. Because that's what happened to me. I saw women that I trusted. That, okay, well, it's not bad because they're in it. But no, my standard is Jesus.
It is.
It's not anyone else on this earth. And I have to lay everything before him. And this is also, I want to, like, there are people that I love dearly that belong to the organization, and I have no judgment. We respect each other's stances. And I just want to know, like, this is not an attack on anyone who's affiliated with any organizations, but this is just my testimony of how and what God revealed to me. This is for those who are considering. This is for those who are a part of, like myself, and who blindly entered the covenant without fully knowing what they had opened themselves up to spiritually. The rituals that I performed and the vows that I said gave the enemy legal right to my soul. And my soul, I sold my soul. I sold the soul that Jesus paid the price for. And, I declare and I decree that my soul no longer belongs to the enemy. Like, I'm fully surrendered. And I talk as much or as little about it as people are comfortable. I'm not afraid. I'm not ashamed.
Yeah.
And my mom, during that time that we were there and I was just feeling down and crying about what had happened with the line jacket, and I said, "Well, I gotta serve at church this upcoming Sunday," and I'm agreed. Like I stand there with a sign. I want to ask them, "Can I do something in the back? Because I just don't want to see anybody."
Yeah.
Lamaya, my mom looked at me and she said, "No, you go hold that sign in the front and you go show Jesus that you are proud.
Period.
You are proud. You are not ashamed of choosing him."
Yeah.
And I said, "Okay, mom, you're right.
Okay. Okay, mama.
You're right."
Yeah. She had
Because
to
I
speak that
felt
life back in you.
so ashamed of like, oh, I didn't do it right. And I tried to check all these boxes. And no, Chantel, like you loudly choose Jesus.
Yeah.
And I encourage anyone who is like on the fence about it, read your Bible.
Yeah.
Like I can sit here and tell you my testimony, and I'm here for anyone who has questions, anyone who feels like they're alone, because I went through this and I had a couple people, but it was just me and God.
Yeah.
And I really had to lean on him and say, like, you're really stripping me in all the different ways.
Yeah.
So read your Bible, go back to whatever ritual book that you have for your organization and pray. And honestly, before you pray, make sure that it is you're willing to sacrifice it if it comes down to it. Um Once you ask him and he reveals more, I will say then you are held accountable for your next steps.
Yeah.
Um
So what, I know we're getting ready to close out, but is there any resources that you want to share with anybody who is, besides of course reaching out to you, but are there any other organizations that you want to kind of share?
It's called Out From Among Them Ministries, and we'll link it in
Yes.
our description. They have FAQs, they have breakdowns, they have sermon links, they have a renouncement prayer. They have what I didn't know is my great grandparents were in Freemasonry and Eastern Star. So that was also in my bloodline as well. And these organizations are rooted, they begun because of these other secret societies. There's also now I'm wearing the t-shirt, not sure if anyone can see, but it's called the Get Out Now. The Get Out Now conference.
Okay.
And I think this year was their second year that they've hosted the conference, and it's for people who are either have left, been called out of any type of fraternity, sorority, or secret society, I'd rather just say.
Okay.
It's for those who are thinking about it. And it's really the first space that I have been in where other people understood.
Okay.
Because I can talk to my mom and my friends and they be like, okay, I get it, but why has it got this kind of stronghold on you? So
Yeah.
you have those resources. If there's anything that I can do, I'm here for it. And once again, it's no judgment on anyone. This is for those who feel convicted, who feel the nudge from God and just need some support.
Yeah.
Not for any type of retaliation or just offense.
Well, I just want to say before we end and before we close, I'm so proud of you. I wasn't even a part of it and I was feeling like, I don't know, it empowered me, and I'm just thankful to see how God is using you and using your voice to really speak the truth about your testimony and the things you've experienced. And of course, like, there's much more, and I know that it'll be revealed in due time, but I find it hard to believe that anybody that is on the fence, doubting, or even somebody that's just proud to be a part of the organization won't feel any type of conviction from listening to this. And I know you've put it off for so long, but watching you speak about it today, there's a level of boldness that I have not seen. And I just want you to know how proud I am of you. And I know that this was tough, but I'm just excited to see what God is going to do by you sharing. Because yeah, like, the more and more that I'm around you, I'm just seeing how you are continuously walking in obedience. And I know that makes God happy and proud. It makes me happy and proud. So yeah, like I'm just proud of you for sharing today and being vulnerable and honest. So try not to get choked up.
I'm trying not to cry.
Yeah, I'm trying not to.
Because I have really been putting this off and putting this off. But no, I am proud.
You should be.
I'm proud, and I would choose him again and again because
Yes.
the peace, the happiness, the joy.
Yes.
Scratch the joy that you have on the other side. And I just think about what would have been if I would have just stayed.
Yeah.
We wouldn't be sitting here.
We wouldn't, you know. And
this is about freedom. It's about us taking up our crosses. And no, this is very uncomfortable for me to do, but I think about that one person
that
who's on the other side,
yeah.
who needs it,
Yeah.
who doesn't know,
yeah,
who has questions, or so I just ask that I give all the glory to God,
Yeah.
because I could not have done it in my own strength, and
Yeah.
especially at the speed that I done it. I think it was 10 days, I believe.
Yeah.
I give it all to him. So thank
God be
you
the
so
glory.
much for your
Thank
kind
you.
words.
No, thank you. We just want to thank you guys for tuning into another episode of Suddenly Saved. This episode is truly super special, and we look forward to you guys being able to get part 2.
Yes, part 2 come in. It's gonna be from a male.
Yes, we're gonna have
a former fraternity member.
Yeah, so we're so thankful that you guys are continuously a part of our journey, and we look forward to seeing you guys next time.
Thank
Love you.
you. Bye.